The key here, honestly, is you got to figure out what's the best thing for you, because you're having trouble letting go of your ex after she recently or he recently contacted you. That means obviously you still have feelings for your ex and you never let those feelings go. The key here, honestly, is to figure out, what do you want? And you've got to make sure that it's something that is sensible, because a lot of times we get caught up in how we feel inside and we don't really logistically think things through. So clearly you're still emotionally tied to your ex. There was some kind of breakup and now they've recently contacted you again and you're having trouble letting go. Obviously you still have emotions and feelings that are connected to this person. You got to take a step back away from those emotions and think to yourself, what's the best thing for me? Look back on the relationship. Look back on the relationship that you had with your ex. Think about it for a second. Was that relationship all it should have been? Were you giving too much, or were you giving too little of yourself? What were they doing? Were they giving too much, or were they giving too little? Were they considerate of your feelings? Get a piece of paper. Write down all of the pros and all of the cons. Really think this through. Write down all of the pros and all of the cons of your previous relationship with this ex. Take a look at it and truly ask yourself, do the pros outweigh the cons? Or do the cons outweigh the pros? And do this objectively. Try to take your heart out of it, because this is where people run into problems. Their heart and their emotion is so tied into what they think they want, i.e. maybe getting back with this ex because they still care about this ex, that they can't logistically and objectively think about the implications on what so doing would cause on them. So you've got to write this list down, take a look at it, and ask yourself, what outweighs what? If the pros outweigh the cons, then take a look at the cons and go, these are the cons. Is this something that we can work on? And I say we, because you've got to work on this with this ex. This can't be something that you do on your own. This can't be something that you go, oh, these are the cons. I was at fault for all these cons, so I'm going to work on these cons because they were my fault. No. The cons have to be worked on by both of you. This has to be a two-way street here. It has to be. So if you notice that, hey, the pros outweigh the cons, and you've thought about this objectively, you've looked at it objectively, taking your heart out of it and your emotions out of it, and you say, yeah, the pros outweigh the cons. Now your job is to figure out, these cons, can they be worked on? And it's got to be something that you and your ex can work on as well, not just you. And if that's the case, maybe you stand a chance here. If you notice that the cons outweigh the pros, then your best bet is not to get back into the relationship. Reason being that those problems will come back. Even if you start off great, they will come back. So you've got to ask yourself, is this path worth it? Is this path towards reconnecting with this ex who's just recently contacted me, is that worth it for me? Again, your emotions can get the best of you. Your heart can get the best of you. You've already had trouble letting go of this person. But you've got to be able to write down that list, take an objective, logistical look at it and go, what outweighs what? If the pros outweigh the cons, maybe we have a chance. If the cons outweigh the pros, you're better off letting this go completely. Reason being that these problems tend to come back. Even if you start off great, they tend to come back. So the choice is yours.